I've had to edit stuff. You can edit this one. Fuck you, Future One.
And that's our hook right there.
Yeah,
That's already
fuck you, Future One. We had 3 cons all on the same weekend in 3 different cities, and we had to find a way to pull that off. One of them was at Corpus Christi, and the girls took that one. The other was in town. Trey was actually a guest at that con, Anime STX, and I and my lovely wife were tasked with covering the largest con we'd ever been to, the Mecca, San Diego Comic Con. And we were definitely in over our heads. But let's talk about how our experiences were. Welcome everybody to Con Culture Podcast. We had 3 cons all on the same weekend in 3 different cities, and we had to find a way to pull that off. So we did. We broke up, went our separate ways in different directions to each con. One of them was at Corpus Christi, and the girls took that one. They went down to the beach, got us amazing footage from there. The other was in town. Trey was actually a guest at that con. Anime STX was here in town. He was a guest. He got us some great stuff from there, some hilarious mistaken cosplays. And then I and my lovely wife were tasked with covering the largest con we'd ever been to, the Mecca, San Diego Comic Con. And we were definitely in over our heads, but we made the most of it, and I think I'm looking forward to all of us going next year. But yeah, 3 cons, 3 different cities, 1 weekend. We had all that content that you guys have been seeing us just pumping out, and it's taken this long to do a review because we've been sifting through all that content. Not to mention, we just did a con this past weekend in Etchi Fiesta. Exactly, and we're about to head out to another con. That's right.
Won't stop.
Even if we wanted to. So, Kalahari Resort is our next stop for Colossal Con Texas. They were gracious enough to invite us all to go down there and play mermaids. So we're going to go splash around in the pools and get tons of cosplay coverage and do what we do. But let's talk about how our experiences were, starting with just your overall vibe. You walk in, your first reactions. What was your reaction of Anime STX walking in the spot as a guest for a second time?
I don't know what it is, but small cons, especially like mall cons, they just hit different. Like they're just way more intimate. Yeah, exactly. I mean, nothing against these other cons, where you have to pay to get in, but like I feel like a certain amount of people that come in, because when you come in now, you're going to come in and you're going to spend more money because you didn't have to pay just to get in the door.
Yeah, money's a barrier no matter who you are.
And then not only like you're paying for parking to get there, and the con community, especially the cosplay community, is so tight-knit that they show up to these events without fail, and they love supporting each other.
Well, you see a lot of like repeat people coming, which is super fun. Like I love seeing the same people at Anime STX.
Oh yes.
Super fun.
Yeah, so congratulations on having that guest spot at Anime STX. What about Corpus Christi? What was y'all's broad overview of that convention?
I think it's always really well laid out. Everything just flows really nicely. It never feels like there's ever any traffic jams. Everything is so easy to find because there's plenty of volunteers or signage around. So
they're knowledgeable too.
Yes.
I like that it's like low stress con.
Yes.
Very low stress. I don't feel like I'm running to get all the content, see the whole con. Like it's very chill. I really love the vibes.
Yes.
I don't know if it's because it's by the ocean and I love
that.
The
Does
ocean,
wonders. If you're overwhelmed, you go up to that second floor and
it's beautiful.
Just stare at the ocean for a minute.
Yes, and that's probably what adds to the just immaculate vibes.
Well, and that's another con, like similar to Trey's experience at Anime STX, where you see there's a lot of the same con goers that go, which is great. Yes, and I feel like that for itself speaks volumes as to how great these conventions are whenever you have people that are coming back time after time after time.
100%. I love everything about Corpus. Was sad I had to miss it, but it was for a good reason. It was a big opportunity for the show. San Diego Comic Con is everything you think it is and more. It was massive, and I think the scale is just the biggest thing. It's jarring when you first arrive and you realize, oh, it's not a con at this place. It's all of downtown.
Yeah, the whole town.
That's in on it, and there's things going on. I could understand like, oh, there's panels at this hotel or there's little events over here. But no, there's constructed things in the middle of the parks, fully constructed like attractions all along the pier, all in downtown in the Gaslamp Quarter. All the trolleys are wrapped in like Deadpool and Wolverine and just like, what is it? Abbott Elementary. Abbott Elementary is wrapped on the side of the building. It's such a good show. I've only heard good things, haven't seen it. But yeah, it's overwhelming. You go and you're just like, the scale is a lot bigger than I expected. And there's no way to do everything. So you just really got to be smart.
How much of the city gets involved with San Diego? Because I mean, I'm so used to, you go to a convention and it's contained within that convention center.
Yes.
Yeah. And then whenever you started talking about, oh no, like all of the local hotels near the
said there were like boat parties even.
Yeah. There's boats at the dock. IMDb had a boat. A whole ass boat that you could go on, get on, and they were having like a yacht party with a DJ. And it was insane.
Are all of those like invitation only type situation?
The majority of things, yes, you have to either purchase or sign up online beforehand. You get a notification through the app for all these events, and they go fast. Like Paramount Plus The Lodge, same day, already gone, sold out in minutes. Or there are some where you just have to stand in the line, which 2 to 3 hours of line standing for one activity. Hall H, the famed Hall H, is all day waiting to get a wristband or all day wait again to get in. So yeah, it's a lot of lines. There are ways for you to get in, but they are going to be a lot of waiting and a lot of like just standing there waiting to do that thing. So yeah, that is kind of a ding against San Diego, is the amount of wait time. But if you plan it properly, then yeah, you can get it. It just depends
what you want to do. Like if you want to be part of that experience, you're gonna have to sacrifice for that.
Next up, we want to discuss the venues themselves and the atmosphere of the shows. So what about Anime STX? The venue is Rolling Oaks Mall. How is that, and how are the vibes in that place?
The vibes are great. There's always like a little area where you can go and just chill out, whether it's in the food court or like in between some of the shops. And then that's another great thing. If you're not shopping just with the vendors there, you can also just go shopping at the stores there. And then my favorite part is that you have that whole food court to go check out when you get the munchies.
Yes, great like Chinese food.
Mall Chinese food.
It's way different.
Like, what is it? Is it just because they like double the amount of MSG in it?
Dude,
like,
maybe. And the portions? Wow.
Yeah. I would get the a la carte chicken, like orange
They're
chicken.
They're like, a la carte, got it.
Yeah.
You just got the whole bin in here.
They just take your little container, run it through the tray.
More? Yes. I'll tell you when to stop.
$5. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yes.
This is so much.
Shut up and take my money.
Maybe it's the nostalgia of it, but yeah, being in a mall.
Shout out to Paradox. Every time we go in there, it's like, I'm getting those pretzel bites. That's how we started off the day each day.
Pretzel bites?
Oh, yeah.
That's a great way to start the day. And I know American Cookies also right in the middle of the expo. So
I love those guys.
That was great. So great vibes there. Corpus, what about that venue did you like, and what are the vibes of that space?
Well, we kind of touched on it. I mean, how like lovely that you can just look out and see the ocean. And also this year, Krista and I split. Like we both got a little hungry because we had been there for hours and we had driven that morning. And we went to, so they did have some food trucks there. The lines were long and we were both like, I'm hungry right now. Like, I need food.
We need it now.
So we went to, they have a little concession stand that is actually through the convention. And we split. Like,
it was like an Italian wrap. Yeah.
And it was delicious.
It didn't taste like, sometimes you go to these places and it's prepackaged process.
Like,
no, it felt, it tasted fresh.
It was
like
very
the
good.
lettuce inside of it was crispy, that good lettuce.
It had like prosciutto in it and everything.
I don't even know what that is, but it's
delicious.
It was so good. And we just needed like 30 minutes just to decompress. It was when we filmed that TikTok.
We were sitting on the floor.
We're scarfing down these little wraps, and you're getting this like full
VIP treatment, the spread, like everything's provided for you.
And you were texting us that, and we were
like, you guys don't have a press room? Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
But like, in all,
like, ooh,
in
fancy
all
pants.
seriousness, we found a lovely little corner just to decompress.
Away from everything.
And it was like, there was a couple of other people in the area, so everybody kind of in that area was like, we are literally just here to just decompress for a second because it can't get overstimulated.
That's at every con. You can get overstimulated. Whether it's a mall con or San Diego or Corpus. Like, you just need to get away for a few minutes and just.
The great thing about Corpus though is that because I normally do get overstimulated at cons, like in Dallas, huge packed. Luckily, we have the room to go retreat to, but Corpus, especially this year, I didn't get overstimulated. We walked the con floor several times. We walked outside of it, like no part of me, like
I need a break.
I need a break from people. Like I needed a break because I was hungry and I was going to catch an attitude if I didn't eat something.
That doesn't sound anything like a Christine. Nope. Hunger and attitude. No, she's very calm. So that was Corpus. San Diego was very hectic and very easy to get overwhelmed and overstimulated. Day one there, we walked only a quarter of the floor because it was so packed and there's so much traffic, and we wanted to stop at some booths. Like I said, there's lines at everything. Just the DC booth was like a 30-40 minute line for them to sell out of the item I wanted right before I walked up to it. Yes. I did get a collectible pin, which was awesome. I got something for a friend, so that was great. I got a Christmas gift for a child, which is amazing. Can't wait. Can't say who it is. Super surprise. But I did need to decompress after walking just a quarter of the floor. I was like, let's go check out that press room that I got the email about that they said we can go in and recharge our stuff. That's another thing. I was getting footage of everything, so we had to recharge our gear and recharge ourselves. So we walk in, and there is a press room that is catered. There's snacks, there's water, lemon water, tea, coffee. Like we had a whole spread every day to go in. You have rows of tables, you sit down, you plug in your stuff. You have reporters working on stories that they just got, interviews they just did. You have people editing photos, you have photographers offloading cards. It was an awesome space that really allowed us to capture a ton of content because I could unload my card, recharge my camera, and go right back out to the show to get a whole bunch more. And it was a great spot to, like, I know we like to upload stories from the con. It was a great way to just upload a story really quick from the photos I had, put it on my phone, upload to Instagram, edit a TikTok.
Sometimes the signal at con floors can just be garbage.
We had a dedicated Wi-Fi in the press room just for us. So we had Wi-Fi to upload.
And we were like holding our phones up to try and get service. I think Gigi had to pick me up for a little bit of that.
Wi-Fi.
Oh, I got a bar. Quick, upload it.
We had fully dedicated Wi-Fi. That allowed me to upload our biggest viral clip onto TikTok while at the show. And it blew up for us and got us essentially monetized on TikTok and generating revenue for the show. Like, it was a huge success, and it was made possible by a press room that they had. So the venue was great, and the venues around were also great. They had press in a single hotel, was pretty much dedicated for press interviews. So you have celebs just kind of walking around on the floor. It was nuts. It was surreal just kind of seeing a celeb come to the bathroom, back to the interview room, and they're like, oh, hey, thanks for the interview. And you're just cheesing because, yeah, it's not something you see every day. Exactly. Just gorgeous, flawless people walking around. Damn, it was the worst. But no, yeah, the venue was great. I can't say enough good things about San Diego. It was packed. It was easy to get overwhelmed because even on a Sunday, we were like crabs in a bucket when you're in the show floor. So yeah, it was exhausting, but overall, awesome experience. So yeah, that was the experience of the venues. Now, panels and guests are a big part of any con. You were part of that as a guest at Anime STX. So can you tell us a little bit about the panels y'all had and the guests that were there?
So Saturday, our big panel was the cosplay contest. I don't even know if you would categorize that as a panel. But yeah, that was the big one for Saturday, and we had a lot of contestants show up. And it's so tough because when you're on a tight schedule to do the prejudging, you want to hear everything. Yes. But it's so hard to cut these people off because you can tell they're so passionate about their cosplay and they want to tell you about every stitch, everything. And it's just like, thank you so much, but we'll see you back at 3 o'clock. Mm-hmm. But I think everyone had a great time. We had a huge crowd that came out for the cosplay contest, which is just always great to see. And the reactions, that's my favorite part. It's like, you know, occasionally at some cosplay contest, you know, you'll get the occasion like, woo, yeah. People were just screaming, being like, I love you cosplay. And it's just like, Another panel I want to shout out for Anime STX. This was a cosplay group. This was one of their first times being cosplay contest judges. Blue Bonnet Cos Group. It's a group of 4 cosplayers, and they were amazing. They did this panel called Cosplay Sing Along, where they did amazing songs from like My Little Pony, Five Nights at Freddy's, and like the crowd went nuts. So I was like,
that's such a unique panel.
exactly. And it's like I loved it. I loved watching them. I loved them getting the crowd hyped up. It was a great time, especially for Sunday when everyone's kind of feeling just a little tired after being there all weekend. They energized that crowd, and it was so cool watching them work.
That's awesome. It's an anime con. Oh yeah, anime cons are different with the support.
Absolutely. And then my favorite panel that we've done twice now at this con, it's Cosplay 101, just where you can talk with the cosplay guests. Just learn tricks of the trade.
Q&A.
Yeah, exactly. Just a little Q&A and just we learned a lot about each other, and then tricks of the trade and just why we do this crazy thing called cosplay and what keeps us coming back.
You two, Corpus, how were the panels at Corpus? I know we've had amazing one. Last time we saw a live violin performance. Last time I was there. How did the panels go this time, and how were the guests this time? Y'all had the Chuck Norris.
Well, so for that, I really wanted to meet him because my dad is a huge Chuck Norris. And so I grew up, watching all these Chuck Norris movies and shit like that. And so I really wanted to get something signed and give it to my dad. So I go up to the line. The line, first of all, super long.
Yeah, of course.
Super, obviously it's Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
And we were on a time crunch because we only had Saturday and Sunday there to see the whole thing and do our stuff and get all the content. And I was like, I don't want to waste the time standing in line, but I did want to see the prices and stuff. So I go up to the panel and I bebop up to the line and I'm sliding over because they have the prices at the end of the table. Yeah. And so I'm leaning in and I'm squinting to see. I turn a little, they're horrible, clearly. I turn a little bit and the security guards, there's 2 of them, walk behind the table, in front of, towards me, and I'm like, I was like, please, still trying to see the prices, but these security guards are slowly, and then this volunteer was slowly moving over, trying to get in my way. And then he was like, can I help you? And I was like, oh, I'm just trying to see the prices. I just can't really see it well from here. And he started listing off the prices, but I was like, hey,
all right, message received. Chuck Norris, high priority.
I'm like,
Secret Service protection.
And then I just walk back to Gigi. I'm scared that they're gonna tackle me or something. They said don't even try.
As well, he should be that protected. This is a freaking American treasure.
What were the prices? With a picture of your firstborn child?
Yeah. A kidney, actually.
Yeah. A kidney was an actual kidney.
A kidney was for the selfie, only the selfie. The firstborn child was the autograph.
That's a deal.
That's a steal. I have
it's Chuck Norris.
I have 2 kidneys. I don't need them.
Okay, so Mara Jade has been a character that has been so highly requested for me to cosplay her for literally years. Since I started cosplaying, I've been asked by so many people, can you cosplay Mara Jade? And I was like, who the F is Mara?
Who the fuck is Mara Jade?
Who the frick is this? She's not even a canon character. She's from the expanded universe. When I first heard about her, I was like, who the frick is this? So then I'm Googling her. I'm like, okay, she's from the expanded universe. Cool. Yeah. She's from the book series. Cool. And then I always was like, I want to read the books, but I never got around to it. Yeah. Well, then whenever I saw Corpus Christi Comic Con had Timothy Zahn coming, I was like,
now it's my time.
This is it. This is when I read the books. So I started reading them and fell in love with Mara Jade. Fell in love with her. Her whole story. I'm not going to go into. I don't want to be spoilers. I love her story. Yeah. I don't care if she's not in the canon. I don't care. She's canon in my heart.
That's all that matters.
Then I was like, this is it. This is when I bring out Mara Jade. I'm going to bring out this character I've been wanting to cosplay for years that I've been so requested to meet Timothy Zahn. So I was like, I want to go to his panel. I want to meet him. So I'm dressed up like Mara. We get stuck in awful traffic, as I said earlier. Then we get there as he comes back to his booth. And of course, everybody just got out of his panel, so they want to go meet him. They want to get stuff signed. That's the purpose of these panels, is to, get people to come to your booth. And so we get in line. We're the last in line. And I'm just like, oh my God. And I get up there.
So plenty of time for the anticipation of it.
She was sweating, standing right next to her. She was.
And then my lightsaber
she was messing with her lightsaber. I said, stop messing with it.
And then my lightsaber wasn't working. I was like, oh my God, it's red.
gonna think I'm not a fan.
I know, I was like, and then I get up there, and I'm panicked. Like, my heart is, I'm trying not to hit this. My heart's like double beating, and I'm like, I'm gonna throw up.
I'm gonna throw up.
And I get up there, and he is the most calm presence. And he looks at me and he goes, Samara.
Aww.
And I was just like, like, and so I did get like the box set of the Thrawn trilogy for him to sign, and he signed every single book for me. He signed the cover of it. It's on my desk. It is beautiful. And then I was like, can I take a picture with you? And he was like, I want a picture with you.
That's why I'm here.
And like he wanted, he didn't even charge me for a picture.
No, and his the person that was with him behind the booth, because I was there with her camera to take a picture with her for her, but she came around and was like, okay, we're gonna take a picture for him now.
Yes.
And so now you're on Timothy Zahn's phone.
Yeah, I am somewhere. So
put that in your Instagram profile.
Well, and it's such a bummer because he doesn't have social media.
Yeah.
But he was just, he was this.
That makes it more
very
special.
kind.
Because now it's on his phone.
Yes.
But yeah, how were the panels?
The panels were really cool. They actually had a really diverse selection of panels that you could go see. So they had everything from authors to photographers to cosplay 101 panels. They had there was like a little dancer group that did things. It was just really cool. And I love whenever they can incorporate different aspects and different interests.
Yes.
And it's not just like the same thing over and over again. I really wanted to see the Timothy Zahn panel, but unfortunately there was an awful wreck on the highway so it pushed us back. So I missed the panel.
That's
but I got to meet him and it was great. But we literally got there like probably right at the end of his panel, like as he was getting back to his booth. And I was kind of big sad about that, but it's okay because I will see him at other panels.
Exactly.
Hopefully Corpus bring him back so I can.
So we can get that Q&A.
But it was really cool. And of course the cosplay contest is always one of the most popular panels that you can see.
And there's great cosplays.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Amazing cosplays.
It's a small city,
blown
but they bring
away.
it all out.
I don't envy the judges with that. They had a really hard decision, and of course, there's always they're like, oh, we have first, second, and third, and then there's always like judge's choice, and they always
They're like just adding more
it's hard to
because
choose.
it is hard.
There's so many. The talent is just like it's unreal.
We ended up doing that anime. We're just like, okay, I know there's the overall judges pick, but what if we each do a judges pick? And
Yeah,
like,
that's
we're
what
like,
they
perfect. We want more winners.
There were 6 winners. There were 6 winners, and at Corpus when there were originally supposed to be only 3, but the judges were like, we literally couldn't choose. Like we quite literally could not choose.
That's crazy.
So
How
and I
dare
thought
they
it
make
was
it so hard on us
interesting.
with their amazing cosplays.
And then one thing that I found actually quite interesting.
Yeah.
I've never seen this at a different convention, but they had the adult cosplay contest and the children's cosplay contest on 2 different days. So the adult was on Saturday. The adult cosplay contest was on Saturday. The children's cosplay contest was on Sunday. But it was in the Sunday afternoon, and we were already planning because we had.
That makes a lot of sense though, because Sundays are generally the cheaper days to go
More family.
better for families because they have to buy a lot of tickets. That makes a lot of sense. I think Corpus might be onto something with that one. That makes a ton of sense having the children's on a different day.
How dare you?
And also just the sheer amount of contestants, like splitting up the 2
that
cosplay
makes it a lot
contests,
easier.
makes it so much easier. I think there were 99 contestants
99
at this cosplay contest.
For
so-
just the adult category.
just the adults, yes.
That's
99.
amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
They had to cap it.
Daniel is knocking it out the park.
Yes,
Yeah, because there's realistically no way to present everybody and give them their fair due
No.
at 99. We had a hard time. We had 80 plus at ours, and it was like, all right, 15 seconds on stage, and you got to move, or I'll throw you off the stage.
Or you're disqualified.
Yeah, or disqualified.
We're turning the lights off.
Just shut it off. An awesome con, and I love that Daniel consistently innovates at his show. San Diego, they had a cosplay contest that ran hours. I believe it was scheduled from 8:30 until 11 p.m. at night. Yeah, it is. And that was the scheduled time. Yes. It was insane. The line to get in was nuts. There was no way I was going to have the energy at 8:30 p.m. to do that after content grabbing all day, celeb interviews, attractions, all that stuff. The panels were great.
You'd need like 5 SD cards just for the cosplay.
Yes.
After 2 hours just being an attendee, you just be like, whoo.
Yes, exactly. But the cool thing about the panels there is you can kind of, if you get into one, you can just stay there all day and watch each subsequent panel. And when it comes to panels, San Diego is the place. Yeah. It's Hall H. It's where Marvel unveils their biggest stuff. DC unveils their biggest stuff. So movie studios are giving you trailers for the first time, never before seen footage, behind the scenes. The celebs are there. So the panels are second to none. They're massive. They're spectacles. But that comes with insane wait times that we, as our first time there, did not want to spend our time waiting in panel lines. I'll watch it on YouTube. Cool to be there. But yeah, no, we had content to get. We had attractions to see. We had a lot of press obligations. So we decided to fulfill those and actually walk the floor. And the most important thing for us was to interact with cosplayers. Yeah. Cosplayers are why we do this, to highlight cosplayers. That's why this whole thing was started, is so that we can nerd out about stuff we love and to highlight cosplayers. So that's what we wanted to do, and that's what we made a made point to do. But yeah, no, the panels were insane. They were amazing. You all have seen them on YouTube. Robert Downey Jr., Dr. Doom, bitch.
That was crazy.
Different mask, same cast.
Exactly. It was, the crowd went nuts. The Fantastic Four flying car. They had a laser drone show over the baseball stadium for Wolverine and Deadpool. Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds were there. So panels, this is where you do panels bigger and better than anywhere else. But yeah, San Diego is nuts for that. So how was Anime STX's merch and exhibitor selection? I know it's already in a mall, so cheat code, you got more stuff.
Right, there's more stuff there. But they spread it out throughout all the hallways there, not only just the downstairs, but also the whole upstairs. So you got vendors just everywhere. I mean, from t-shirts, plushies, collectibles, artwork. I mean, that's some of my favorite, just seeing the artists out there, and there was no shortage of amazing artists.
What about Corpus? How was the merch selection and vendor diversity there?
It was really cool. Like, I feel like a lot of times whenever you go to conventions, you see the same type of merchandise.
Yeah.
There were some vendors there that I've quite literally never seen before.
Super unique stuff.
Yes. Like, I bought a purse. Yeah. Completely hand-stitched purse.
Oh, wow.
I love it.
And it was very affordable. Like, I was like, are you telling me the right price right now? Like, this is completely hand-stitched.
It's like, no, not renting.
And I was like, I'm not renting it.
This is it?
I was like, I can take this with me. This isn't for just the day.
Not the first installment.
It's like, I'll take 5. Thank you. So I loved that. Then there was a perfume vendor.
Yeah.
We bought perfume.
Just like they were themed perfumes for like different characters and stuff.
Cool.
So like we bought one from Hell of a Boss. So she bought Millie and Moxie's scents, and I bought Blitzo's scent. So
well, and so and they were so
pretty nice what that smells like.
They were a married couple. Loved them, and their name is escaping me right now. So my apologies for that. But we can definitely tag them.
We'll come up with something.
Married couple. They've been together for since they were teenagers, and they both are like artists at heart, nerds at heart, and just were like, we just want to do this. They do this full time. They literally travel around the United States doing this, and they were smelling all of them, and they go to conventions. Like I said, this is their full time job, and they were like, oh, the voice actors, a lot of them have actually smelled this, and these are approved by the voice actors. So that was really cool. And
stamp of approval.
Yes, well, and it was great because
that's what they smell like.
It's exactly what the recording booth smelled like when I was in it.
And they were actually so popular that a lot of their stock, they were like, we're selling out.
Get it now.
So
that's awesome.
Well, the perfume that I wanted, they were like, here, write down everything. We're gonna make it for you and send it. And I got the notification today that it shipped. So I'm like, yes! So I love it. I love being able to support these small businesses, and I feel like you get that opportunity with conventions because I love nerd culture. I love being in fandoms, 100%. But I don't always want to showcase that hard, because you can't always showcase your love for fandom whenever you're at your job in like a professional setting or something. So you know, I
just smell like the character.
Exactly. It's kind of like a closet cosplay. So I love it. I'm so excited. I really love like getting the ability to support these small companies. That's amazing. Yeah, that's what I think Corpus does a great job of bringing in diverse vendors.
Agreed. I love their vendor selection every time. Always has great surprises, good treats.
Oh, well, and then, sorry, I want to add this one thing. Every vendor that we spoke to, because we're getting interviews, and of course we were stopping and looking at their merchandise and speaking with them, because it is a small enough convention that you can actually start building a relationship and rapport with these people. And every single person we spoke to that had a booth said, this convention has exceeded my expectations.
I sell out of product.
Yes.
Like almost immediately.
Yes. They were like, we should have doubled what we brought, because we were almost sold out by midday Saturday.
That's crazy.
Because you hate hearing the opposite of the con. Just like, I'm not doing
it
this week.
It really, you don't know what to say to the vendor. You're like, it's normally good.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, man. But literally, every single person we talked to, and we talked to many people, because of course we asked, how's the con going? How's it? Yeah.
And we talked to that cookie place, and we told them that we wanted to review some of their sweets and stuff, and they were so excited, but also super upset that they didn't have the variety that they started with, because all they had was like sugar cookies, themed sugar cookies.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we had so much more.
They did.
You should have come on Saturday.
I know, we're just so excited. We're so sorry. Yeah, so it's you love to hear that. You love to hear, you know, whenever people go in expecting something and then they do 10 times better than they thought. Like that's
always a nice treat.
That's what you want.
100%. And to stick with that, small vendors supporting small business. I had to stop in San Diego. First booth I stopped at, my boy Taco Boy Designs from San Antonio, Texas. Homegrown, made it to San Diego. He had his booth. I had to buy something. I had to go and support. So that was great to see someone from San Antonio there. We also saw another friend of the show from Hand Over the Hero. We saw the artist there. We met him. I think in Dallas was the first time we met him. Then we convinced him to go to Superhero, and he killed it there. Yeah, he was there in San Diego, so we got to say hi to an old friend. That was great. Tons of artists, tons of authors, like so much to see. But it being San Diego, you know, the vendors aren't just the smaller artists and such. This was something I had never seen before. Artists had like museum style galleries on the floor, like a 40 by 40 foot space with all their covers they've done in giant posters. It looked like a museum. So cool. And you could walk through and see the artist's art, and you could purchase originals, and they were there at certain times for signing. Like the biggest comic book artists who've done tons of covers are there, but they come out in style. Like they're celebrities in their own right, and they have these booths unlike anything I've ever seen. And it was so cool to just kind of walk through the artwork of these amazing artists like a museum gallery.
That's so cool.
Not just that, you have the biggest brands in the world, Nickelodeon, huge 40-foot booth. You have mascots, you have entertaining stuff. Marvel Studios took over with, it had to be 100 square foot booth. They had a stage where they were doing Marvel themed cosplay contests. They had panels right there on the stage. They could house maybe 80 people standing there. And they had photo op areas all around the booth. Marvel Unlimited was running a crazy sale. I had to buy it there and then because I think it was like $30 unlimited comics for the whole year. Yeah. It was insane. So yeah, Marvel, DC had another massive booth. Warner Brothers, like all the major studios. So that is what makes San Diego or separates San Diego from everywhere else. You're getting the biggest brands in the world and everybody and their mama trying to give you free shit.
And you were like,
this is, I was like, until I wasn't. This is the first con I've ever been to where I was like, don't hand me anything. I don't want it. I don't want it anymore. I can't carry all of this stuff because we weren't staying near a hotel where we could just go to the room and dump it. So we had to carry everything on us, and they gave us so much cool free shit.
Fly back too.
Yeah, and we had to fly back with
You
it.
had to take a whole bag just for your merch
We
there.
did. They give you a bag when you walk into San Diego, and it's, I shit you not, like this big. It's a massive bag with backpack straps, and they fill that thing up for you as you go through the show.
Cool, though.
It is very cool. You leave with tons of collectibles, stuff you could only get at San Diego. Every booth has like a San Diego exclusive pin, shirt, merch, feature, something, and they sell out fast. They sell out so fast, as I found out my first day there at the Superman booth. But yeah, no, it was amazing. San Diego's merchants are, everyone's bringing their A game. This is like, you've been waiting the whole year for this, and you bring your A game, your best merchandise, your exclusive stuff there. So yeah, San Diego came correct. Vendors are cool, merchants are cool, but really it's the people that make the con. So how were the crowds and the cosplayers at Anime STX?
This is my second time, like what I said earlier, being a guest there, and third time being there, just attending.
Yes.
The cosplays never disappoint.
No.
Like we said, like the anime cosplay crowd, like they go all out.
Yeah.
And then not only that, just the support and hype levels that go on, just hyping each other up is just so inspiring, and it just touches your heart just seeing it. Like I was saying earlier with the cosplay contest, like they were screaming at their friends on stage, and I just love seeing that.
That is always amazing. And Corpus is very similar in that vein.
Yeah.
It is a small community. How was the crowd there, and how were the cosplays?
Well, like I said earlier, like I didn't feel overstimulated by the crowd, so it was a good amount of people without feeling like crabs in a bucket. So the crowds are definitely like manageable. Cosplays like Anime STX, just so great, and we were there, getting content of cosplayers. Like we tagged, Gigi was getting photos, I was getting video, and just like the looks on the cosplayers' faces after we show them the stuff, like show them the video, show them the pictures, they're like, oh my god, who is that? It's so great to see, because like maybe I know sometimes I go to cons and cosplay and I'm like I didn't feel comfortable in this, like I thought it looked good, and then I get there and something's breaking, something's falling off, and then like when I see pictures or people come up to me and are like, say, oh, your cosplay's so great, like I'm like, oh, okay, it confidence up a little bit. So to do that for the cosplayers there at Corpus was amazing.
Like,
yeah,
that's the best part of it.
And it doesn't get old. We've been doing this at cons forever.
It's part of the con culture.
Yeah. Just speak a little bit to crowds.
Yeah, I want to hear about
San Diego is crabs in a bucket. The crowds are massive on the trolley. You're standing room only. People are crammed in the trolley to get there. You get to the show, and don't go early to San Diego if you want to get in quickly. There's a line that's just hundreds of people long to get in. But if you go like 30 minutes to 45 minutes after they open, it's pretty smooth walking in. They get the lines taken care of, so it's pretty smooth walking in. So I would actually go a little bit after they open, unless you're trying to be like the first at a booth, because those lines get long fast. At this con, they have to break up the lines because they have limited space and they can't be in the walkways. So they'll have a long ass line wrapped around the booth. Then it'll have a guy with a sign saying line break, and over at the next section available by the wall, you'll have another guy that says line continues, and the line continues all along the wall, snaking there, and you'll see another break, and it'll be a third guy. So yeah, the lines get insane. They're hours long, and the whole time people are just kind of walking through. It sounds unappealing, but you're so like...
There's like an adrenaline and like endorphin.
Yes, there's definitely an adrenaline to it. Yes. This is somewhere I had wanted to go my entire life. And as a nerd, yes, you're awestruck. You're in the Mecca. You're in heaven, because this is it. And there's like visual stimuli everywhere, like brand new art, brand new shirts, brand new comic releases. And you're just like, you don't know where to go. So the crowds are there, but they're not tough. It's not like, I know we've been to some cons where like it gets a little too, and it's like, hey man, come on. No, everybody's like pretty respectful. The flow of traffic is managed really well. But yeah, it is going to be crabs in a bucket. There's a lot of no sitting here, no places to sit. You really have to go outside the convention or find a spot in the lobby. Luckily, we bought some portable chairs before, and we were able to find spaces to kind of plop by a pillar. But even shooting video, if you notice the mistaken cosplay videos we did, there's people walking in front of the camera. It's not because they're assholes. It's there's no space. There's so many people that literally that was the only path to get through because there was crowds. So I didn't mind it. Everybody tries to be as respectful as they can, but they got panels to get to. They got stuff to see. I'm not like going to be a we're recording type snob where that's... Dude, it's a public space. Well, everybody's trying to do stuff. Yeah. It's funny because in one of the mistaken cosplay videos, you see a guy cross by and he's like, "Oh, sorry." And I added him to the end of the video because he came up and offered us some bread because that's what his cosplay is. Yeah. If you notice the Rick O'Connell cosplayer, the last guy who goes, "Oh, I'm sorry," it's the same guy who gives me bread at the end of the video.
The cosplayer from the Dungeons and...
I have no idea where it's from.
The Dungeons and Dragons... Oh my gosh, I forgot what it's called. But it's on Netflix. It's a... Yes.
Yes, exactly that. And the beard. And he gave me some bread. He's like, that's his character. He gives bread. Do you want some bread? I was like, hell yeah, I want bread. Yeah, I was like, can we record you giving me bread? He's like, yeah, sure. Well, and he was a great cosplayer. He was. We did an awesome series that hasn't been released yet. Again, tons of content to edit. But yeah, it's the crowds are insane, but they're fun. They're fun crowds. They're crowds you want to be around. We had 6 people we were trying to meet up with. Didn't see a single one.
Oh my gosh.
Didn't see a single one. It's too big and there's too many things to do that unless you name a spot, pick a spot, stay there, and everybody kind of meets up at a set location, you're not going to run into each other casually on the floor like, hey! No.
Which I feel like is typically our experience.
Yeah, and normally we run into people we're expecting to see there. No, this isn't going to happen here. No, it's massive. But moving on to just kind of our final segment, wrapping up, talking about these cons, what was something special for you at Anime STX, and what's your rating of Anime STX on a scale of 1 to 10?
What was special for me, this is one of my first opportunities, not first opportunities, but this is the first time I really had success with my photo booth at my table. And like we said, like you were talking about, when you show the cosplayer your photos, nothing beats that feeling when they get to see that photo and then they see the edit afterwards. So like that was just a special moment for me. And all with cosplayers, we had families that come through and was like, can I just do a photo with me and my dad real quick? And I was just like, absolutely. Yeah. Like I would love to do that. And so this con, I would definitely fit. I'm biased because this is my second time through. 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. That's not a bad rating, actually. It's that fun. I've been to Anime STX, and I can't wait to go back every time we go. It's free, so that's already points in its favor, but there's genuinely awesome people there. You're always going to have a good time.
I was bummed I missed it this time around.
Yeah.
You were missed.
But y'all were at Corpus Christi, so what are each of your special moments from that, and what are your ratings of it?
So actually a year ago at Corpus Christi, I met a cosplayer, Mr. Holmes. He is so sweet and one of the most genuinely kind and supportive people I've ever met on this planet. And we kept like just missing each other. And then on Sunday, I was just in like street clothes, like, you know, whatever. And we finally ran into each other and he was dressed up like a Jedi. And, you know, we were talking and, you know, just getting to finally like catch up with each other because we hadn't seen each other, you know, in a while. And then the news came up and they were like, we would love to interview you, talking to him. And he got interviewed by the news. And I got a little bit of footage of him getting interviewed because like he deserves to feel as special as he makes other people feel. And I was so happy that I got to witness that. Like I'm getting all teary-eyed talking about it. Like I love him. He seriously is like
the sweetest.
He's so sweet. If you don't follow him, go give him a follow. He deserves every single ounce of love that you can give him because he gives that to everybody.
That's awesome.
Like, I'm getting so emotional. So getting to see him
was a special treat.
And he's a local to Corpus. So getting to see him be on his local news. And he knew the newscaster.
Of course.
Like,
no, Channel 9.
No, seriously. He was like, oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And she was like,
I watch it before I go on the drive in the morning.
no, seriously. And so it was just like watching him
get the recognition his kindness deserves.
It was just great. So
Well, I want to actually shout out a photographer that was there, Weather Machine Studios. He was phenomenal. So Gigi and I went dressed as Leia and Mara Jade, and she was getting a photo shoot as Mara Jade, as she should. The pictures were amazing. And I wasn't going to get one just because like I didn't feel like, because I made my Leia costume the night before. I did an updo. I'm not comfortable with updos. You know, I knew I could do so much better than what I took. But then I saw his work, and I was watching him work with the cosplayers, and he is so good with them. Like the experience of shooting with him is like he makes you feel comfortable. If you have a part that you don't really want to highlight, like they kept saying, if you ate too many tacos for lunch and you don't want to show your little tum tum, like he poses you from head to toe in a way that won't highlight, literally head to toe, that won't highlight like your insecurities. And so my experience with him when I got in, I was so nervous. But he was posing me, whatever, and then he pulls up box, and I'm like, oh no, here we go, a sitting pose. And I don't want to have to be like a sitting pose on my rolls and stuff. And then he poses me in the iconic Leia pose where she's laying down on her side. It's like that, and I was like, oh, and I saw the photo. I was like, oh, okay. Like I will never not trust this photographer again. So I just really wanted to highlight how amazing Weather Machine Studios is.
He's great.
Phenomenal.
That's so rare to get somebody who's aware enough of people's insecurities, but kind enough to kind of work around it, and experienced enough to get a banger shot out of it. I don't know why you don't like sitting poses, because that's 2 sitting poses now where you look like a fucking boss, dude.
I know. Oh,
First one was in Dallas, and now that one. You need to sit more often.
I do.
Sure, you can't reach the floor.
I can't even do it.
No, you got some bangers. But what was your rating of Corpus Christi?
I love this con so much, so I'm gonna have to give it a 9 out of 10, just because I almost got tackled by Chuck Norris's security guard. So,
but is that really a negative?
No,
That's
a story to tell.
It was a 10 out of 10.
To 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I was like, I give Corpus
10 out of 10.
It's always a 10 out of 10. And I'm including Anime Corpus as well.
Yes.
Just
which is even better. Cool weather and the beach.
Which is my favorite time to go to the beach.
I'm so upset I missed it last year because I was on my deathbed and I was like looking at all the photos and stories.
Daniel's kind enough to let us back. We'll always be there if you'll have us. A special moment for San Diego was definitely getting to interview the cast of Hellboy for me. That was for the con, for the podcast. That was our first ever, like, hey, you get to interview this major celeb, major studio, big project film. It is a smaller studio in Millennium Media, but still, it was the biggest we've ever got.
It's one of your favorite franchises.
100%. Hellboy is a personal favorite of mine, and getting to meet the creator of Hellboy, Mike Mignola, was nuts. But what made it really special was my son gave me questions to ask, because he's an even bigger Hellboy fan than I was. So I actually got to ask the questions to the star, the director, the creator, the cast, and that was cool. But while interviewing Mike Mignola, the creator, it's a round table, so other press outlets were asking questions, and it was wrapping up, and I knew they were coming around to pick them up, so I called my son, I video call him, and then I told them that my son gave me the questions, and they were like, oh, great questions, what's his name? And they said hi into the camera for him. It was sweet, but I had him on the phone, and they're about to take him, and I was like, thank y'all guys so much for the interview. This is him, this is my son, he just wants to say hi, and they're like, hey, champ, hey, buddy, good questions. Those were great questions. And all I hear from the phone is, oh, shit. Oh, shit, you're Mike Mignola. Oh, shit, oh, shit. And I was like, he's like, yeah, bud. And it was a sweet, genuine, awesome moment.
Share that with your
Yes, it made me the coolest dad on earth.
Major dad point.
Yeah, major dad point. So that was my special moment from San Diego. I can't wait to see this movie. They shot it practical. It's gritty. It's a horror film. It's what Hellboy should be.
Hellboy should always be a
Yes, and the lead actor was great. He was so cool and so kind. Jefferson White, for us Yellowstone fans, is in this, and he is great. Jimmy from Yellowstone, if you don't know. He was awesome. So yeah, I'm supporting this movie 110%. I will be there opening night. I will pay money. I will go see this. Yes, I'm going to see it multiple times because that's what I did with Deadpool and Wolverine. That's what I'm going to do with this one. All my favorite projects I watch multiple times in theaters. But that was my awesome special thing from San Diego, on top of just so much more that went on there. All the press stuff we got to do. We're so grateful to Hulu and Paramount Plus and all the great outlets that gave us those opportunities to explore their areas. There's so much I could go into, but I'll do a separate review just for San Diego. But yeah, my rating's 10 out of 10. There's no way to give San Diego Comic Con anything but a 10 out of 10.
I'd be surprised if you
This
did.
is the biggest con I've ever been to.
2 out of 10.
No, this is
could have
the
been way
biggest
better.
con I've ever been to. This
It
is
was
the
too good.
Best con I've ever been to. There's so much to do, and 4 days doesn't seem like enough. Preview night makes it 5. I'm taking advantage of preview night next time, and I'm going all 5 days. I'm hopefully bringing the whole team with me.
Oh, we're going.
We're going.
Yeah,
it's
gonna
happening.
be great, but that's
Juan Gonzalez.
that's the
here.
goal, guys. That was the goal to get to San Diego. We got to San Diego, and now we have so many more cons to go to. We have a whole list growing for new cons for next
We
year.
haven't even posted our schedule, and we have so many.
We can't catch
Can't
up.
stop. Won't stop.
Yeah, we have amazing people like you in the comments suggesting
great
other
problem
cons
to
to
have.
go to. And we're trying to go all over the country. Motor City Comic Con was one of the recent ones, so would love to go to Michigan and see that. We're going to be everywhere. We're going to try to get to everyone and spotlight you guys, cosplayers, and nerds in the culture who just want to share.
Yeah, so keep
what we
sharing those
Yes.
conventions.
100. Comment if you want us to go to a specific con. We'll try our best to get there. We'll apply for press. Hopefully they accept us. And then we'll see you guys out there. But thank y'all so much for watching. That's our review of the 3 cons in 3 weekends. Anime STX.
3 cons in 1 week.
3 cons in 1 weekend. 3 cons in 1 weekend. I can't even think. There's so much. So we have 3 cons in 1 weekend. Anime STX, Corpus Christi Comic Con, and San Diego Comic Con, guys. Thank y'all so much for watching. We will catch y'all next time. Peace.